I've seen Superman, and I'm a punk rocker. Yes, I am. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Digital Charcuterie. Thanks for stopping by. My name is James. It has been a while. If you've been here, like, what happened to the channel? I've been around. I've been doing the Rebel Scum podcast still, but I have been very busy. We just uploaded in June our short film Mindgate that we shot in 2018. It did the festival stuff, and now we decided to put it on YouTube. I've been finishing up my next short film, which is called Dead as the Night. It is a fun kind of zombie horror movie thing happening. We're putting the finishing touches on that. Been working hard on that. I also directed a music video for F105 Subterranean Hypogean Blues, which you can check out on the Isolation Destination channel. I'll put a link below if you're interested. If you're not, whatever, that's fine. So we're working on that, and I'm working on 3 upcoming very short films that are going to debut this October on YouTube, straight to YouTube. So I've just been busy. I've been neglecting, but I've been like, oh man, I want to do more videos. I want to keep talking, and Superman's out. Superman's been out for 2 weeks. I didn't get to see it opening weekend. Been too busy. I also have a daughter who's about to turn 3 in September, so it's just been chaotic. But I got a chance to see it last week, and I wanted to do a video. Wasn't really sure what my approach would be, because I'm like, you know what? Everyone's got an opinion on Superman. Everyone's talking about Superman. Do we need more of that into the internet interwebs? And then I thought, yeah, you know what? Yeah. I've seen it twice. I have a lot of opinions of it. And I know you do too. So I want to hear what you guys think of the movie in the comments down below. Let me know. Did you like Superman? Did you not like Superman? What did you like? What didn't you like? What worked? Well, stuff like that. Let's just have a good conversation. Let's discuss this thing together in the comments, and keep it so civil and all that. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun. So I want to just go through my experience of watching this movie. I think I said on this channel numerous times that I believe that this would be the best Superman movie we've ever gotten. I think I don't know if right now might be too early to make that call. I mean, if you didn't like it, then definitely you wouldn't. So I'm not going to even discuss that. But I did say that, and that's an opinion that I had. But what I want to talk about is just how going into this movie, my feeling stuff. So I talked about this movie, back in December when the trailer dropped. I did, I think, a reaction on it, discussed it, was looking forward to it. The characters that were announced, James Gunn's involvement. James Gunn just seems to hit. I actually went on a trip to Mexico in March, way back in the end of March, early April, end of March. And on the way there, I watched Scooby-Doo. And on the way home, I watched Scooby-Doo 2. Sucker for those movies, whatever. But look, here's my story with Superman. I go into this movie, and I was able to, I guess because I wasn't doing these videos and stuff, I was able to avoid a ton of spoilers from early January on. I was kind of like, you know what? I don't want to know what's going on in this movie. I want to stay far away. So I did watch the full trailer, obviously. And I don't know if I watched another one, but I was really interested, and I thought it was looking really good, and I really liked the moments in it. I thought it looked like Superman. It looked like a perfect Superman movie. So I went in to go see this thing, and I didn't really know, and I had a couple friends tell me their thoughts on it, but nothing in depth, no stories or anything. So I went in, I didn't know. So I guess I'm going to talk spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, hit the pause button, go watch Superman, and I'll see you in like 2.5, 3 hours. But so I went in, I didn't know the cameos. There's not really a lot of cameos, but there was one cameo that I had no idea was coming at all. I did hear, I think it was like a week or so before the movie came out, I think James Gunn even let the cat out of the bag that Bradley Cooper would be Jor-El. So I was like, okay, whatever. So then when that happened, there was no impact there for me. But yeah, Peacemaker obviously showing up was kind of massive. It was a fun little gag, and I love that. I love that Peacemaker is like this A-list character now that like shows up in Superman. It's like, oh man, Peacemaker! Like everyone just knows and loves Peacemaker. That I really appreciate that. But anyway, that aside, I'm gonna go. So I'm watching this movie and I'm enjoying the beginning of the movie, and I'm like, this is a fine movie. This is a fine Superman movie. And then Lex opens up like this portal to like some pocket universe that he creates, and I was like, And I honestly, I was sitting there going, I don't know. And anyone that knows me that's been on this channel, that's watched me for years, whether it's been on Digital Charcuterie, Rebels Come Podcast, or when I did stuff with Den of Nerds, I love the Man of Steel. Man of Steel is like, it's one or two for my favorite comic book superhero movies. I'll say superhero movies. One or two. It's always one or two. It flip-flops. He is not Man of Steel at all. Like, it's just like, and for better or worse, it's not Man of Steel whatsoever. I think for better, as a big Man of Steel fan, I think obviously for better. I think Man of Steel, and I've said this before, Man of Steel is like, it came out at the wrong time, the right time, wrong time. It came out when Marvel was like, they had cemented the MCU. Like, I think Avengers had already come out, and we had Man of Steel. And the problem with Man of Steel is the Dark Knight. The Dark Knight trilogy, right? Like it's not a movie to start a whole cinematic universe. It's a movie to be one, like a self-contained universe in itself. But so whatever. It's a Superman movie, but it was always kind of pitched this way. But it was a Superman movie where it was kind of like a first contact movie. It was an alien invasion type movie, and I just think they nailed it across the board on that, and I absolutely love that movie. But this movie obviously is not that. So when this Pocket Universe came, I was kind of like, I don't know, like I don't know, because I'm in my 40s, so I'm kind of like, maybe this is too childish for me. Like, there's just too gimmicky. I don't know what it was, but I wasn't on board with it. I was like, man, it's taking me out. And the movie kept going and going and going, and then I don't know when, but I was enjoying it. I was enjoying it, but I wasn't like, because, and you've seen my thing here on this channel too, if you go check, I love the Batman. Like, I love, as much as I don't like to admit it, I love like the quote unquote grounded, I hate that term, superhero films, I guess, more so than the fantastical stuff. So I don't know, I was taking it out, and then something happened along the way, and I don't know when it was. I know, like, the point it was cemented, I know. But along the way, something happened where I was like, I'm genuinely enjoying this. And it took me to this, it all of a sudden, like, took me back to this time when I was a kid in the 80s. And in the 80s, we had Adam West, and I had Christopher Reeve, and like, those were my Batman and Superman, obviously. But really, more than that, Batman, I think, because it was a TV show, I watched it a ton as a kid. But even more so were like Super Friends and the animated stuff from the 80s that I grew up on, that I watched all the time. The Max Fleischer Superman stuff I absolutely love. This is not that at all, but I had on VHS. Somebody bought me the VHS tape, and I, like, as a 3-year-old, and I destroyed that. I got to watch that thing so much, and I later bought them on DVDs because I love them even more. But the Super Friends stuff, there, but even more than that, I had, as a kid, they weren't comics because I didn't have comics when you're 4 years old. It's not a smart idea. But I had like these books that my mom would read to me at night, and there was there was one specific Superman book, and I remember in it, like, Lex. I think Lex had like his tech suit. You see baby Kal-El come into Earth on his spaceship from Krypton, and in it he's wrapped up in a blanket, and the blanket is red and blue, and then you see Makken like knitting a super suit out of it. And there's a point in the movie when I was like, that is this, that, like, I wasn't getting it at the beginning because, like I said, I'm in my 40s, like, I'm so removed from that. But it took me back to being that kid that loved that book to death, and loved watching Superman, and I had my Superman action figure, which you squeeze the legs and he went like this, and you can't do that. Like, I squeeze those legs so hard that he's just limp now. It doesn't move. But it took me back to those days, and again, for better or worse. Like, if you want to buy into it, you can buy into it, and if not. And the thing that I'm getting at is, like, for me, I ended up absolutely walking away loving this movie. I saw it a second time. Like I said, I love this movie so much because it hit me completely different from Man of Steel. Do I like it better than Man of Steel? I think it's way too early. I'll tell you this. I like this movie better than Man of Steel. I did after I saw Man of Steel the first time. I was kind of like wishy-washy on Man of Steel. It took me like two times, 3 times to, like, I think it was I had the Blu-ray digital copy. That really got me into Man of Steel more. Like, I became obsessed with it at that point. But I just, like, this movie is just a ton of fun. It is Superman, Superman, Superman. There's no question about that. I think it nails the character. All the other characters, people worried about, Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl. There are too many characters in this. They're not. And for me, it starts to lose its way towards the end. There's a little bit too much destruction going on. Now they kind of, I think, correct that destruction, so it's not so bad somehow. But the question is, how does nobody die? Like, there's a point in it when he's like, they're being interviewed, which is, probably my second favorite scene in the movie. My favorite scene in the movie is just them talking. It's Lois and Superman talking after, he went to Lex to confront him about his missing dog, and she's like, "You have a dog?" And then they sit down and have this conversation that's just, I think, beautifully shot and perfectly acted. And I just love that scene. But this interview scene is also spectacular. It's just spectacular. But for me, Lois Lane, whenever she's interviewing Clark, who's now in his Superman, when she's interviewing him, she always, the way she emphasizes Superman. She's like, "Oh, Superman." Like the way that's terrible, but the way she did, I thought it was absolutely perfect how she did it. I thought it was the best line delivery in a comic book movie ever. Just the way she said his name, I'm like, damn. It's like, it's stuck. Like, you get it. I was like, it's so perfect. She was so perfect. But the other scene is just, to me, it's spectacular. And the way it ended, and this is what really cemented this as being, as me loving this movie, was the scene's ending, and he gets up, he's like, "I gotta find my dog." She goes, "There's a dog." And he's like, "Yeah, not even a very good one." But he's out there and he's scared. And I was like, Superman. Like, that's like the Superman. I know people don't like Superman because he's too perfect. And yeah, and this movie did a good job of kind of saying, like, yeah, he's perfect, but he's a little bit, he's a little bit rash, he's a little bit fiery, he's not all like chiseled yet. And I kind of like that, because you are dealing with this perfect character who's dealing with being perfect. I mean, like, we forget, like, perfection has a lot of flaws in and of itself. And of course, he gets, his message from his parents that's not all what it cracked up to be. But so yeah, so another flaw, though, I think, because okay, so there's one point though in that interview that I was getting at where he says people were about to die, or people were going to die, or whatever. And then at the end of the movie, he's like, "I got to go there. People are going to die." But Metropolis is being ripped and gutted. And maybe it was a Sunday and everybody's off on Sundays in Metropolis. I don't know how it works. So I was a little bit nah on that one. And then the other thing for me is, I loved Crypto in this movie, but I did find that I felt like they went to the Crypto well one too many times. I thought, like, at the end when he's fighting Ultraman, he's kind of got his before that, Mr. Terrific is like, "Oh, you brought the dog," and I was like, okay, so it's gonna end with Crypto coming in, and so you kind of like see it coming from a mile and a half away, and it didn't ruin it for me, but it was just like, just tone it down a little bit. I thought, because they already did that with Crypto, right? They did it again. I think they did it like 2 or 3 times, and I just thought maybe they did too much. But Crypto was fantastic for the most part, for all the parts. I can't wait to see Crypto and Supergirl cameo. Perfect. Also, that made me go, oh yeah. Now I thought she was great in that scene, the 5 seconds that she had. It's like, all right, let's see what we got here. And then of course they released the poster like right after that. So yeah, I just I really enjoyed the movie. I don't know. I think once I had to get past it though. You have to I'll say you have to. You don't have to do anything, but I had to kind of embrace like what it was doing, like embracing the kind of campy sci-fi-ness of what it was, and wash away every iteration of Superman that's been on the big screen, and just kind of sit and accept this movie for being a Saturday morning cartoon, but a little bit more mature, I guess, than that. And once I did that, I came to that realization that it's a great time. It's a really good movie. It's a great time. It like I was saying to somebody earlier, I'm like, I love the Batman. I love every Batman movie though. Like I'm horrible at saying this, but like a Batman in this environment, treated like this, I don't know. The movie probably wouldn't be as good as like the Batman or the Dark Knight, but it could be the best Batman movie. Like it could be so much fun. You know how much fun it would be to have Batman gray and blue. I was gray and blue for Halloween in the 80s. For Halloween. It was a good time. Just like you can have a blast with it. And it just, yeah, I just think that okay, all right, I'm in. You've won me over. Supergirl's next. That one's got to be good too to keep us going. But I mean, Jason Momoa as Lobo, David Krumholtz as Supergirl's father. I just can't wait. I think it's going to be, we're in for a good time. But again, if you don't want to buy in, if you don't like the approach, it's going to be tough. I had to embrace the zaniness of it to fully appreciate what it was and what it was going to be. And it sounds like a knock, but it's not. It's just like, mental. I've said it before. I like boring movies. This is, very exciting and fast paced. It's completely opposite of what I normally like to watch. But there's something to it that made me go, yeah, I'm in. Let's keep going. Let's see what we got. And the cast is perfect. And then again, like the book that my mom read me as a kid, Mom, Pa Kent, this iteration of them reminded me of that from that story. It was weird. It was just like, I'm like, oh yeah, remember that book? That's a great book. I have that book. I think I mentioned that book before. It's just that is a core memory for whatever reason. But yeah, this is a movie that doesn't feel like an 80s movie, but it feels like it's got that innocence though of like the 80s, right? Like before we all went sour, before the internet made us all sour. It's kind of what it's got. Like this movie kind of feels like before we all turned sour, we're good. Everything's good. Superman's good. Superman does good, as Tracy Morgan would say on 30 Rock. You do well. And James Gunn, I think, did well with this movie. I haven't rated on my Letterboxd ranking of superhero movies yet. It's not on there. I think it's too soon, too fresh to really gauge that at this point. Like I've seen it twice. And it's either like, oh, it's the greatest thing ever, or, maybe it's not as good as this. But is it as good as Batman and Robin? We'll have to wait and see on that one. Let me know again what you guys thought in the comments down below. I truly enjoyed this movie, and I hope they do a real, true sequel for it, like an actual Superman 2, Don't Say Legacy. That's what I'm hoping. Not sure if we'll get it. There's going to be an announcement coming soon. And look, like it sounds like fun. Like Clayface is going to be straight horror. There's apparently a pitch from the director of Weapons, which I can't wait to see. That he's going to reboot Resident Evil, which I've become obsessed with as well. Over the last little while, I've gotten obsessed with Resident Evil, the games, and I don't know where I've been for 30 years, but I'm in. But he wrote a Joker and Harley Quinn script, and he did a pitch for it, and he has a full script. So is that too soon? Let's maybe talk about that in another video because I might be back. I'm back. I love it. I love doing this. Like I said, though, sorry for being away so much. I've just been really busy trying to do this other stuff, these passion projects, I don't know, hobbies, I guess. But thanks for watching, everybody. Like, subscribe, hit the bell to stay up to date for all your digital charcuterie news. And look up. Until next time, may you be the masters of your own universe.